What happened to Canada? What happened? Where's Martin Brodeur, Patrick Roy, Carey Price, Marc-Andre Fleury? This goaltending in Canada stinks.
We
Sorry.
got our first look at the Four Nations jerseys this week. Canada's got a jersey. Do they have a goalie? You're a goalie guy. Who would you put in net right now if you're running Team Canada?
What happened to Canada? What happened? Where's Martin Brodeur, Patrick Roy, Carey Price, Marc-Andre Fleury? This goaltending in Canada stinks. Like, it's bad. The Americans dominate, and I'm a proud red, white, and blue American. I love the American. Connor Hellebuck's best goalie in the world right now, and some people argue with that. Who are you going to play? Binnington? I talked about Montembeault. I like saying it that way, but he's got the best numbers of these guys. You're looking at Hill. Connor Ingram's got to be in the discussion. There's a big concern in Canada right now for their goaltending because the names you throw out, Skinner's going to be on the list. Skinner's making the team. Like, Skinner's going to be there, but he's the starting goalie right now.
Skinner has to make the team.
Oh, he's on the team. I think Skinner's on the team. I do think it's Binnington. I do. And then the third spot is Hill, Montembeault, Ingram. And right now I'd throw Montembeault in there. But Binnington, I in a pressure series like that is so quick. And if you're not off to the right start, you can roll something if you're playing incredibly well. And we saw Skinner do that in the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Once he got on a roll and played well, I feel comfortable putting Skinner into that kind of a compact schedule and letting him roll. I do. Binnington, I've got fears and concerns. If I'm every other team, I'm rattling, I'm shooting at his head for the first 3 shots of the game. I'm clipping his feet out, going through the crease, and I don't think Binnington will be effective. I think Skinner has to start. That's what I think. But the 2 and 3 are big question marks. And even with Skinner, DJ, I know when he's good, he's really good, but he's got to be consistent in a short tournament.
And we all know, he takes a minute to get going.
Yeah.
You gotta turn the key, you gotta pat the side, you gotta get it humming just the right way. And then once it's really humming, that's the best machine that you can get. Once what was it, last postseason? Basically, like, just get him to game 4. Get him to game 4 or get him to game 3 or whatever. First 3 games are going to be a little bumpy, maybe even bad. And then he's going to be the best player in the series the rest of the way. I think you kind of hit on it, but the reasons that you would get Binnington or pick Binnington would be he has done it. He's proven that in a tournament style, he can be the guy, he can lock in. For all of those reasons, you would pick Stu instead of him because he's done it more recently and he's done it better. So
agreed.
I would include Montembeault and Skinner. I thought for sure. I didn't know if you would think for sure, but it seems like that's your lead dog.
But it's funny because when we talked about this earlier in the year, I had Adin Hill as one of those guys too. Adin Hill, since their Stanley Cup run a few seasons ago, Adin Hill's really dropped off for me. I thought he was taking the next step and he was going to be one of the next great Canadian goalies. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. He hasn't found that consistency in his game that he had then. But even when you go to that playoffs, Adin Hill was the number 3 goalie on the team for the Vegas Golden Knights when playoffs started. So it's not surprising that hasn't taken off and haven't had that consistency. Skinner, to me right now, if the game is tomorrow and you need to play a game for Team Canada, Skinner's getting the start for me.
Hey, thanks for watching the channel.
We appreciate everybody who checks out our stuff, but 80% of our viewers are not actually subscribed to this page, so if you could smash that subscribe button, it would go a very long way for us.
The more subscriptions we have, the more visibility we get from YouTube, which allows us to do more.
So press that button. Thank you.
Pete, your thoughts? What a turnaround. What a character arc for our guy Pete.
I know. I try to change. I'm not going to, but again, that's not, Pete, make no mistake. I don't think that's a good choice. Like the Americans, no, it's not. Nice. It's like, do you go to that thinking that goaltender's going to steal you games? No, you have to outscore the opponent with any of those goalies. That's what I think. I think the United States goes in and Russians go into this. Oh, are the Russians going to play in this? No, it's Swedes.
No.
I like the Russian goalies. Russians have the best goalies in the world right now. But the Americans can win games on their goaltending. Canada can't. Canada's going to have to outscore their problems. That's just what I think. Connor Hellebuck, I'm so high on Connor Hellebuck. Have been for years. And I was the video coach for Team North America way back in 2016 with the Young Guns team. Mm-hmm. I still believe if he plays all of the games, I think that team is competing for the World Cup in 2016. Matt Murray got the start.
Here's a fun question. If trades were allowed in the Four Nations tournament, is there any deal that could be done outside of including McDavid in which the United States would give Canada a goaltender? Because if I'm the United States, I'm like,
From
sorry, we're closed for business. We are very much banking on the
Yeah.
you don't have goalies sort of thing.
Yes.
Even though like Skinner can be what Skinner was in the playoffs last year, and it's like, okay, well, he'll be better than Hellebuck, but you take your chances with they're left to their devices, they're scurrying, they don't know what they want. But Peter, we will be making those social posts.
Yes, that's a very good idea, and I think
We'll give him Jonathan Quick. Give him Jonathan Quick. He got a little gas.
No,
in
like
the tank.
to that might be like, yeah, like we'll give you Jonathan Quick for McKinnon.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
really, we don't have
Let's
to do this
go.
deal. You need this deal more than we do.
Right. And
Yes.
I'm a big proponent of making trades that where like you lose the trade, but you make your team better. Be like, yeah. So
Yeah.
the trade is 1-for-1. We give you Quick, you give us Nathan McKinnon.
Yes.
Let's do
You
it.
don't get Swayman under any circumstances. You don't get
Yeah.
Which Swayman makes
Sway-
sense because geographically speaking, it's the closest to Canada, Alaska.
But
Alaska's
you're looking
like
at
attached to
Swayman.
Canada.
Swayman's the number 3 goalie on that team. Look at you got Ottinger. You got this.
Swayman's above Ottinger.
Swayman is fucking better.
I don't think, but I don't think he is right now. But by February he will be. Yeah, by February he will be. That's fair.
We all silly like the mayor.